Welcome to Morning Java, brought to you, of course, by our friends at Get Go Cafe and Market, where this month they're featuring the Roadhog.
Roadhog sandwich, perfect with your summer. Come and get it. July's almost over, Dale.
And we've seen quite a few road graders down here on this field. The Steelers back at practice again. Well, today they're off, but they've been at practice now. They've got 4 practices in. And I know, Chris, one of the guys that you've written about is Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson, and one thing that I talked about coming out of the draft was how good his footwork was in college. But that was in the MAC. That wasn't against, elite, NFL talent. And today he got his first reps against the first team due to an injury to Dante Moncrief, and he's continued to look very sharp. He's very quick in and out of his breaks. He's not using his hands to push off. This guy, they brought him in because of how crisply he ran his routes and how much separation he creates. And so far, he's looked really good, especially in the first 2 days of pads.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you want to see with a young receiver in pads. A lot of guys look great when they know they're not going to get banged. You want to see these guys go out there when they know that there's a possibility, and it's just a possibility, that you could take a shot on a play. Do they hang on to the football when they go over the middle? And he does that.
He's done that, and he's not afraid to do the different things to get open, especially after his route develops. You see a lot of people struggle with that, not him.
Yeah, the Steelers seem to like they've started drafting these guys.
Scramble drill.
That are quick in and out of their breaks.
Mm-hmm.
That's not by accident. They want these guys who don't have to decelerate. So, Chris, you and I both wrote about Cameron Kelly.
Yes.
He's a long, tall safety now. He was a cornerback in college. He was a wide receiver for a bit in the AAF.
He was all over the place.
Is now a safety for the Steelers. And, he played with the first team a lot in the offseason when Sean Davis wasn't out there because he had some minor injury issues. But now he's out there during training camp, and that's a whole different animal. And this young man is continuing to make plays out there. The Steelers coaching staff likes his. They like his smarts. Mm-hmm. They don't have to tell him how to do things twice, and they put a lot of different things on his plate. He's not only playing deep safety. He's down in the box. He's playing the dime backer. He's doing a lot of different things, and thus far it's been pretty good for him.
Yeah, what's looked really good for him is the fact that he's able to adjust to these roles, not overplay his hand. Because oftentimes when you see a safety or a DB that plays in the box, when they play free safety, they're a little too aggressive, and they're not comfortable just sort of playing back and being the last man that sort of makes sure nothing gets behind them. But you're seeing him communicate, and that's the thing, Dale, watching the defense, and I know it's just practice, but still watching the defense, and when they're calling out adjustments and they're getting ready, he does not look like he's lost. He's not like, last minute like flashing hands or people yelling at him as you see sometimes from new guys on the team. He looks like he fits in, and that's important. And like you were talking about, a long safety. The Steelers are kind of getting away from the Robert Goldens of the past that were shorter. He might be quick, but, how many times did Robert Golden get abused by a Rob Gronkowski type or a Darren Fells type? Yeah. And I think they want those days to end, and maybe Cameron Kelly's earned his spot.
So, Matt, I wrote about Juju Smith-Schuster on Sunday, and he's been the star of training camp. He's kind of replaced Antonio Brown, not only on the football field, but with the fans as well. You had a little pictorial of him on today's site.
Well, we knew that the fan stuff was going to come naturally, right? I mean, we've seen it. We've talked about it. We've seen the way that he interacts with everybody. He's got that star caliber personality. The question's going to be whether he continues to work, right, as hard as he always has. We watched this dude just like, how would you what would you describe that drill? Just a wide receiver blocking drill?
It's a wide receiver cornerback blocking, defensive back blocking drill. The defensive backs have to get off the blocks. The wide receivers have to get the blocks. And you heard the coaches saying, hey, don't get your hands outside. For the receivers, don't get your hands outside. Well, Juju got his hands here on Justin Lane. The first time he drove him 5 yards off the field. The second time, he drove him all the way back to Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty serious. This guy, people have always made like subtle comparisons with him and Hines Ward, like, oh, Juju's going to be the next great blocking wide receiver. He literally drove Lane 15 yards downfield. Then Lane got kind of like fed up with it, kind of grabbed his shirt, tackles him to the ground, falls down. Juju throws him a little bit, pops up. Juju all of a sudden has his hands up like he's ready to go.
Playfully.
Playfully. Lane's looking, although, we've seen that in the past. Not like it can't happen. But Lane pops up, and then there's, just a big hug. I mean, the guy, he works hard.
Yeah, he does.
It matches the personality. It's fun to watch.
You want to talk about stars. Look at this guy.